Your fingers are black with ink, and you trail them along the wet wall as you walk, keeping the stain off your good cloak. 3 floors up, a shutter opens. A woman is watching your hands slide across the wall. And in that moment, she decides she has just watched you murder the whole city. It's Milan, summer of 1630. The plague has been eating the city for months, and nobody can say how it moves. You're a commissario di sanità, an officer of the health board, paid to walk the dying streets and mark the shut-up doors. But there's a rumor loose today. It says the plague was never a sickness at all. It says someone is painting it onto the walls, and you're the man they'll make answer for it. Would you make it out? It started last autumn, they say, with one soldier who came home to the San Babila quarter and was dead within days. By March, the whole city was falling, the carnival crowds having carried it into every parish. Now it's your job to move through it. You know the smell before you turn each corner. Soon the bodies pile in the open streets faster than the carts can clear them. The men who cart them off are the monatti, prisoners and plague survivors, hired because nothing worse can be done to them. They drag the dead to the lazzaretto outside the walls, which held a couple of thousand souls in spring and over 12,000 by high summer. You write your notes, and all the while, a new idea spreads faster than the fever. In the cathedral, people whisper that the benches have been smeared and the walls and even the bell ropes. Someone, they say, is anointing the city on purpose. They have a word for that person now. Untore, the anointer. It's the 21st of June and it's raining. Your fingers are black with ink. Above you, a shutter is open. Her name is Caterina Rosa, and she's at her window watching the street. She sees a man in a dark cloak, a little book, a pen, and something at his belt, and she watches him draw his hand along the wet plaster of the houses as he walks. You know what you're doing. You're keeping the ink off your good cloak. She doesn't know any of that. To her, every house you touch is a house you've poisoned. By afternoon, she's told a neighbor. The neighbor tells the tribunal. And the story already has teeth. They'll say you turned the corner and greeted a barber named Gian Giacomo Mora. That will end up mattering more than anything you actually did. The next day, the officers of the captain of justice come to your door. At first, you almost laugh. You explain the ink. You explain your work for the board. You've marked half the doors in this district. That's the job. None of it lands. They want a confession, and they've decided you already have one. So they offer a bargain. Name the men who put you up to it, and you'll be spared. Immunity, in writing if you talk. But you've done nothing, so you have nothing to trade. And that's when the rope comes. They bind your hands behind your back and hoist you off the floor by your own wrists until your shoulders leave their sockets. Between each pull, they ask the same thing. Who gave you the ointment? There was never any ointment. But the rope doesn't care what's true, only what you'll say to make it stop. And they already have the name they want. You say it. You say the barber. You say Gian Giacomo Mora. Because that's the name they've fed you between the pulls. It doesn't end there. It builds. Your story has to grow to fit their questions, so it grows. A paste made in Mora's shop. A wider plot. A paymaster standing above you both. In the end, you name a Spanish commander's son, Padilla, who is later acquitted. They arrest Mora and tear his house apart. In his workshop, they find a basin of pale, greasy stuff and hold it up as the poison at last. It isn't. Just boiled water and wood ash, the wash every poor family in Milan uses on their linen. It doesn't matter. They put Mora on the rope too, and he breaks the same way you did. Then, the sentence is read aloud, and when you hear how they mean to do it, you understand the rope was the mercy. It's the 1st of August. They tie you and the barber to a raised cart and pull you through the streets you used to walk, past the doors you once marked. The whole city has come out to watch the anointers die. As the cart rolls, the hangman tears your flesh with red-hot pincers. Then they take your right hand, the hand that held the pen, the hand Caterina Rosa saw on the wall, and cut it off. At the Piazza Vetra, they break the long bones of your arms and legs and weave your body through the spokes of a wheel, raised upright over the crowd. You're left there, alive, for 6 hours, before they finish you and burn what remains. Your ashes go into the river, so there's nothing left to bury. Then, they go to Mora's house and pull it to the ground. On the bare rubble, the city raises a stone pillar and carves your names into it as poisoners, the column of infamy. That column stands for almost 150 years. The ointment was washing lady. The plot was a shape squeezed out of a man's dislocated shoulders. There was never any poison on any wall, only a plague that fleas and rats carried through a city too frightened to believe something so small could do something so large. A century and a half on, a writer named Alessandro Manzoni reads back through the trial records and lays out how ordinary men were turned into monsters by fear and a rope. What kills you in the end isn't the plague. It's a city that needed the plague to have a face and picked yours because you were the man they saw touching the wall. Everything you just lived through actually happened. The real names and the sources are all in the description below. Go check them out.